My name is Maxim. I'm 30. I didn't believe in coincidence. I didn't believe in love at first sight. I didn't believe in fate. Everything changed in one night. One trip. One car. It was a regular night train. I was returning home after a tough business trip. It was cold, foggy, and I was so exhausted that I just wanted to fall asleep and forget I existed. My train was half empty. I sat by the window, put on my headphones, and wanted to disconnect. And that's when she walked in. A girl in a long coat the color of clouds, with dark curls falling to her shoulders. Her eyes were large, deep, attentive. She looked around, looking for a place, and I don't know why said, "It's free here." She smiled and sat down next to him. We were silent for 10 minutes. The train moved. The rain pattered on the glass. And then she asked quietly, "Where are you going?" And that simple phrase was the beginning of something huge. We talked all night about what we love, about what hurts, about the dreams we feared, about the people we lost, about what we are looking for in life. Her name was Lena. She was a photographer. She traveled around the country, photographing small towns, old train stations, people with unusual stories. She spoke as if she were gathering the world into a little box of memories. I listened without blinking. There was something in her voice that was more soothing than any music. She laughed lightly, but there was a kind of sad depth in her eyes. And when I asked about it, she was silent for a long time. And then she said, "I lost someone I loved very much. And for a long time I was afraid to love again." We were sitting in the semi-darkness. The carriage was silent, only the light of the lanterns flickered by. And suddenly she laid her head on my shoulder, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. I was afraid to even breathe, lest I scare this moment away. It was the night when the world stopped being gray. We fell asleep next to each other. I woke up to her whispering, "Maxim, look." Outside the window, dawn was breaking. Pink, cold, pure. She was photographing something, not the horizon, not the sky. Me, smiling, half asleep. "You look like you're just starting to live," she said. I didn't know what to say, because it was true. Our paths diverged at the train station. We stepped onto the platform. We stood facing each other, unsure if this was something real or just the magic of the night train. She handed me a small photograph, the one where I was looking out the window. And she said, "Maxim, please don't lose this. It's a reminder that life can begin at any time." I asked if we would see each other again. She smiled sadly. "If fate wills it." And she left, returning to her platform, returning to her nomadic life. And I stood there, feeling my chest getting cold, because I didn't want it to end. We met again not by chance. 2 weeks have passed. I carried this picture in my wallet. I looked at it every morning and thought that I would have forgotten the old one, but the current one not. And I found her photographer page. I didn't dare to write for a long time. I thought she had already forgotten. But when I did, click message and wrote, "Hello, this is Maxim from the train. I want to see you again." She replied after 4 minutes. "I was also waiting for you to write." Since that day we have not been apart. We walked through the cities where she took her photos. We drank hot chocolate. We found old houses that, like us, hid stories. We sat on rooftops and listened to music through one earbud. She taught me to see beauty in small things. I taught her to trust again. And one day, as we stood on the bridge and looked out at the water, she said, "Maxim, I learned to love again. With you." I took her hand and realized that this was no longer just a coincidence. This was a meeting of people who were made for each other. Sometimes life gives us love where we're not looking. On a noisy train. In a random carriage. At night, when we are tired and broken. Not because it's magic, but because sometimes two lonely souls roll along the rails of the same route until they stop next to each other. This is how true love begins. That's how ours began.